Faith, land, and fire. Israel, Messianic dreams, and the Gaza question. Jerusalem, a city sacred to Jews, Christians, and Muslims. A city where heaven and earth collide, and where faith and politics are inseparable. For some, Israel is the fulfillment of ancient prophecy. For others, it is occupation. And for millions, it is a struggle for survival. This is a story of faith and fire, of messianic hopes, of dreams of a greater Israel, of war, and of the question that now haunts the world. Is what we are seeing genocide? Messianic Judaism, Massi. In Israel lives a community at once Jewish and Christian, the Massihiyun, Messianic Jews. They keep Jewish traditions, but believe Yeshua, Jesus, is the Messiah. To mainstream rabbis, they are heretics. To themselves, they are the truest heirs of Israel's promises. Their place in the state of Israel has always been contested. In 1989, Israel's Supreme Court ruled they are Christians, not Jews. But in 2008, another ruling allowed those with Jewish fathers or grandfathers to immigrate under the law of return. Despite harassment by ultra-Orthodox activists, Messianic congregations have tripled in 2 decades. They now number in the thousands, worshiping in Hebrew, Russian, and Amharic. In 2021, Israel's highest court granted them tax-deductible status, a victory for religious freedom in a state that often questions their existence. The dream of a third temple. Beyond recognition, some believers look to restoration. For centuries, Jews prayed for the temple, destroyed first by the Babylonians, then by the Romans. Today, the Temple Mount is crowned not by a temple, but by Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock. Still, a small but growing movement in Israel prepares for a third temple. The Temple Institute has created everything needed: robes for priests, gold vessels for offerings, even animals for sacrifice. To them, the temple's return is not only a religious necessity, but a sign of the Messianic age. Yet any attempt to build here would ignite a holy war. For Muslims, Al-Aqsa is Islam's third holiest shrine. For Israel's government, the risk of regional conflict keeps the dream in waiting, but the vision remains. The idea of Greater Israel. Linked to the temple dream is the idea of Eretz Yisrael Hashlema, Greater Israel. In the Bible, God promises Abraham land stretching vast. Early Zionists were pragmatic, focusing on Palestine under British control. But revisionists like Ze'ev Jabotinsky dreamed larger, a homeland across both banks of the Jordan River. In 1967, Israel seized Gaza, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, Sinai, and the Golan Heights. To many religious Zionists, this was not coincidence but prophecy fulfilled. Settlements began, despite international opposition. Today, the phrase Greater Israel is rarely used officially, but the vision lingers in debates over annexing the West Bank and in the refusal to accept a Palestinian state. Gaza in flames. On October 7, 2023, Hamas fighters stormed across the border, killing 1,200 Israelis and taking hostages. It was the deadliest day in Israel's history. Israel's response was immediate and overwhelming. Gaza, already besieged for over a decade, came under bombardment. In just 11 days, entire neighborhoods like Beit Hanun were wiped out. By mid-2025, over 60,000 Palestinians were reported dead, 2 million displaced. Hunger stalked the strip as aid was choked and infrastructure collapsed. The destruction was staggering, and the world demanded answers. Genocide or war? The devastation was clear, but was it genocide? International law distinguishes between atrocity crimes. War crimes are violations of the rules of war, indiscriminate bombings, attacks on civilians, blocking aid. Crimes against humanity are systematic, large-scale attacks on civilians. Genocide requires something more: the intent to destroy a people, in whole or in part. In January 2024, the International Court of Justice ruled that Palestinians in Gaza face a plausible risk of genocide. It ordered Israel to prevent it, to allow aid, and to halt operations that could impose conditions of life destructive to the group. But the court has not said genocide is happening. The final ruling could take years. Israel insists it targets Hamas, not Palestinians as a people. Civilian casualties, it says, are a tragic cost of fighting an enemy that hides among civilians. To Palestinians, the destruction feels like an attempt to erase them entirely. The truth and intent remain disputed. Faith, land, and fire. From Messianic Jews dreaming of the Messiah's return, to religious Zionists preparing for a third temple, to nationalists clinging to the vision of Greater Israel, belief shapes politics, and politics shapes war. In Gaza, destruction raises the gravest question of all: genocide. Courts deliberate, governments argue, but civilians, Palestinian and Israeli alike, bear the cost. This land is sacred, this land is scarred, and its future is still unwritten. History will judge whether what we are witnessing is war or something darker. But one truth is clear: without justice, without peace, the cycle of faith and fire will continue. Dedicated to the civilians, Palestinian and Israeli, whose lives have been lost.